I'm going to do a review on this Chicago Electric 6-inch dual action polisher from Harbor Freight. I've been polishing cars for years, but I've used the single action heavy duty polishers. I'm interested in taking a look at this machine because of the dual action and it's a lighter machine. So let's get this thing out of the box and take a look at it. We'll toss these instructions aside and we'll read them later. Here you go. This is what we want to see. And here's the handle. It'll adjust for left-handers or right-handers. Well, when we get it out of the bag, we can definitely see and feel. It's a lot lighter than those other machines, and that dual action, you can feel it. If we turn the instructions over, we can see a couple tools in there and a set of electrical brushes if we need them. Inside the box, it doesn't come with any of the polishers, so you buy those separately. These polishers have Velcro on the back, and they're about $7 a piece. I was a bit concerned that the Velcro might not stick well, but it does. It does stick well. You can see and feel the dual action. The bigger, heavier machines don't have this dual action, but this is definitely shaking your hands a lot. It kind of feels like one of those little hand vibrating sanders. But that's the trade-off. Hopefully it'll take out some of those swirls in the paint that the bigger ones might leave. This buffer does have variable speed, but the variable speed is in the handle. It's not in the trigger. Here's the single action machine that I've been using for about 25 years now. It's got a lot of power, and let me tell you, you need both hands on this. And with any buffer, you need a lot of water, because when you don't have water, that's when you burn the paint. On this buffer, I like the power and I like the variable speed. I can go faster on the flat spots, and when I get near an edge, I can slow down, because that's when you burn the paint, is on an edge. This buffer has a lot more power and a lot more speed and a lot more weight. 25 years ago, when they didn't have variable speed, we used to have to pulse the trigger in order to vary the speed. This Harbor Freight polisher doesn't have a variable speed on the trigger, but it does have a knob to be able to vary the speed. I don't feel it's as convenient, but I'm glad that it has the variable speed. As you bring the numbers up, the speed increases. The top speed is as important as the low speed. When you're on the flat panels, you want to go quick. But when you get near an edge, you want it to go slow. Because this paint is pretty oxidized, we're going to go with a number 7 rubbing compound. Just go ahead and put it right on the sponge. And of course, make sure you've got plenty of water. We're going to take it a little slower until we get the hang of the machine. I do like the dual action, but there's a lot of vibration in this. But I feel there's a lot less opportunity to burn the paint off with this one. This foam pad is pretty fragile, especially around these edges. It might tear up the foam. The cotton pad on my other one is a lot more durable. I've never had to replace this one. Now, if the oxidation is really bad, which it is on this car, you can use 1200 grit sandpaper. Just lightly move the sandpaper in a hatching motion, back and forth, up and down. Just do this until everything's smooth, and be real careful on the edges, of course. On this hood, you can really see the oxidation and how well the sandpaper is working. Now that we have the coarse rubbing compound complete, we can go to a finer grit. We're going to wash out the old compound, but you can actually just pull off a new sponge and put a new sponge on. Most cars are not oxidized this bad, and you can just do the entire car with a polishing compound, not a rubbing compound. This polishing compound is a lot finer, and it'll make it shine. Your paint won't shine when you're using rubbing compound, it's too coarse. This machine does seem a lot louder than the other one, so you almost want to have ear protection when you're using it. It does have a nice pattern, you can see it as it's going. These foam pads are a lot more delicate than the other ones. I usually try to polish cars in the morning or the evening because the heat When you see the swirls start to dry, you need more water. When the heat kicks up, it's real nice to have somebody that just sprays the water as you go. Just look at that foam pad. It is tearing itself apart. Maybe with some more experience, I won't tear it up so bad. The old style pads are a lot more durable. This rubber glove helped with the shaking, and maybe next time I won't press as hard. It did, however, take the oxidation off. You can see the back door has not been done yet, and that's pretty oxidized. I've done all the panels except the front door, and you can see there's a big difference between the back door and the front door. Even the front panel shines. The hood takes a lot of the solar load, and you can see there's a lot of oxidation on this hood. That's why we use the 1200 grit sandpaper first. Use the rubbing compound and then the polishing compound. And when it's done, you can see a big difference. One side shines and the other doesn't. Overall, I'm happy with the Harbor Freight polisher. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this video. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.